What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Vivid Seats. You know, whether it's a sporting event, a concert, or a race, there is no substitute for being there in person to see, feel, hear the action. You know what that's about, right? And so that's why Vivid Seats is here for you. Vivid Seats is an online ticket event marketplace dedicated to providing fans of live entertainment with experiences that last a lifetime. With Vivid Seats, listeners can watch their favorite teams and artists perform in person, not just like later on Instagram. Vivid Seats helps fans find their seats to any of their favorite live events, including sports, concerts, races, theaters, and more. They offer great prices and an easy purchasing experience. They are where you can search by price, you can search by row, section. They make it easy to get the best tickets you want at the best price. And now, with the podcast code TIRE, that's T-I-R-E, TIRE, Smoking Tire listeners can get 10% off your first purchase with Vivid Seats. And from the biggest concerts and games to the hottest theater and more, Vivid Seats has it all. Download the app and enter promo code TIRE for 10% off your first purchase with Vivid Seats. Make a memory that lasts a lifetime by being there in person, and let Vivid Seats help you get there. We are also brought to you by Continental Belts and Hoses. Working on cars sucks. So what you don't want is any surprises. And here's the surprise. You open your hood, you're working on something. Oh man, your belts and your hoses are all cracked and dry rotted. Here's where you need Continental belts. I bet you didn't know they're OE in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, and GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also OE on the majority of BMWs and Volkswagens. Now Continental is launching the aftermarket multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE Technology Series, belts that are fanatically engineered for perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE Technology Series multi-V belt for 98% of the vehicles on the road in the US and Canada. Hey, you get enough surprises working on cars and trucks. A belt shouldn't be one of them. Go with the Continental OE Technology Series Multi-V Belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit oetechnologyseries.com. That's oetechnologyseries.com. Lastly, I don't plug our merch store very often, but if you go to thesmokingtire.com and click the store button at the top of the page, I just came out with a new shirt. It's the last of the Fox body shirts, the Quick Like a Fox shirt. A fan designed this logo for the icon for us, or the graphic on the shirt. I think it's rad. I think it's one of the coolest shirts we've ever made, and I ordered two for myself, actually. The Fox body is going on Bring a Trailer this week, October 15th. And it will sell on October 22nd at a no-reserve auction with 50% of the total gross proceeds going to charity. So check that out if you're catching this podcast in time. October 15th to 22nd, 2018. And otherwise, go to thesmokingtire.com, click store, and check out the Quick Like a Fox Body Tribute shirt. All right, on this episode, it has been way too long since Elana Scherr was in the building. I love this chick. She is the coolest. She fixes things. She does things that I just can't do. She swaps engines. She has a fleet of old cars that she pretty much, other than her press cars, she only drives really old cars. And she's got like old cars like scattered all about her yard. It's actually quite fantastic. She was at HotRod. She was at Roadkill. She's now writing for Edmunds and doing video for Edmunds. She is an OG and one of our favorite people to have in studio. Elana Scherr on the Smoking Tire Podcast. And it's the Smoking Tire Podcast. Now it's the show. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Thursday afternoon here in Los Angeles, and we got Elana Scherr on the show. Now you got a new gig.
I do. I have 8 million new gigs.
Every time it's that Hollywood hustle you do.
Right.
Every time you come on the show, you have a new gig.
I know.
You were HotRod, then you were Roadkill, and now it's Edmunds.
Does that mean that I need to stay at jobs longer, or you need to have me on more often?
Both. I don't care what job you're at. I should have you on more often, though. Aww. Although I think we tried for like a month and we kept bumping.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was my fault, too.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Well, one was my fault.
Yeah, and one was mine.
No, one was the crippling depression cancellation.
Right.
That was after I did the show with Ralph Guerra, and I was like, I'm too depressed from not smoking weed. I can't do a show with you.
Yeah, and I was very understanding because
you've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we just do a show about depression?
You know, I mean, if anybody's out there and they're feeling very depressed and they need to talk about it, I'm always available to talk about it. I'm very understanding.
Yeah, no, quitting smoking weed was a little tough on me for a couple of weeks. I'm all right now, though.
You seem
I mellowed
super
it
cheery.
out. Yeah, no, I actually it's stabilized. It's good.
That is good.
And what's so weird is like, you know, once it sounds so fucking trite. Like once you break the habit, I actually like. There's a bunch of weed in my house right now. Like I could smoke it and nobody would know. I wouldn't have to tell anybody. Like, but I just am not thinking about it. It's actually really nice to not only get through the depression part of it, but then to like be like, it's there, and I'm just not thinking about it. That's nice.
Well, it's all about freedom, right? You know, like you just don't want to be a slave to anything, even to something cool.
Totally. And I don't know about you, but like anything I do, it's fucking full steam ahead. You know what I mean?
Your taste buds will change the same way. If you stop eating salt and sugar and shit, then all of a sudden
that helps. But definitely when I quit smoking cigarettes, the food got real good.
I keep trying to not do sugar, and then I'm like, no, F that. I like sugar a lot.
Sugar's pretty good if you can.
So
if you can, the key is like, did you hear that pop? Wow,
Yeah.
I hope that didn't make it to the fucking show. If you can't drink soda. Soda is the fucking enemy. If you just switch all beverages to water and wine and coffee, then you can kind of have some other sugar, and it's cool.
Is this the kind of show we do?
I don't know.
It's really different from the last time I was here.
We don't talk about cars anymore.
So, big blocks. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about cars.
Yeah, let's talk about cars.
Talk about what'd you drive down here?
Oh, I don't know.
Forget talking about cars.
Yeah. No.
Are you in press cars now? Because you're Edmunds now?
I am. I'm in press cars, and even more than that, we're doing a push to kind of really do sort of basic buyer's guide cars.
Oh, how terrible is the car you're driving?
It's okay. It's very interesting for me. It's a very good.
Is it a Honda Pilot?
It is.
It is a Honda Pilot.
It is. And it's
Did you go outside? Did you see it?
No, I saw our Instagram.
Oh, okay.
It's
Follow Challenge Her. Pull that over. Challenge Her on Instagram is Elana Scherr's Instagram.
And that looks like a pilot steering wheel.
It was either a Pilot or a Ridgeline, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so it's an interesting challenge for me, right? Because you know me very well, and anyone who's out there who does know me.
Yeah, you live your life a quarter mile at a time.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And so being in these cars where not only are they not fast, but the goal isn't to be fast.
Right.
Like the people who are buying them don't want them to be fast.
Right. Well, I don't think a Honda Pilot should be fast.
No, because you're gonna wake up the baby. And
bro,
like,
Honda,
and
imagine
have kids like barfing in the back.
Can someone Photoshop up a Pilot Type R, like with the shredder styling and the center exhaust?
You know, I mean, you're gonna have like dogs barfing and stuff. You know, it's not about handling. I mean, it doesn't even start in first gear. It starts in second.
Is it
so
a 9
it's really
speed,
gentle.
right? Isn't it a 9 speed now?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they didn't change it for 19, right? It's the same as like 17 they changed it for maybe, or 16?
Yeah. Well, the entry level ones are still 6-speed, and then it's 9-speed in the higher level, and it used to be a really terrible 9-speed, and then they've retuned it, and it's
good now?
Less terrible.
Actually, I did some off-roading in the last Pilot I got, and it was pretty good.
It's not incapable.
I really like the Ridgeline, actually.
Yeah.
The Ridgeline's rad. Like, that's the size of, if you're kind of like honest about what 90% of the world needs from a pickup truck, a Ridgeline's actually the best option for most people.
Yeah, I think actually Edmunds is planning another truck test, because we just did one with sort of the American trucks, and then we're gonna do another. But
I wonder, are those
trucks
fun?
are good.
Are
Everyone
those truck
should
tests
have trucks.
fun?
I liked it a lot.
What do you like, tow sleds and stuff like that? Is it that kind of a truck test? What do you do?
Well,
in a truck
there
test?
was some towing. I didn't do the towing part.
Because girls can't tow?
Yeah, girls can't tow. That's
Why?
a rule. That's
Is that a rule?
That's an American rule.
Unless you're like in Texas and have like huge hair, then you can tow a horse trailer.
Well, yeah, I actually know quite a lot of women who tow because of horses. More
Because
than
of
anything
horses,
else.
right? Yeah.
No, it was just we just needed one person to do the tow,
okay.
because the same.
I find a lot of like joy in towing. I don't know what it is about it that I really like. I really like backing a trailer up well. That makes me so fucking happy.
I mean, it's a real skill set.
Yeah.
You know?
What, doesn't someone have like backup trailer assist now? Like Ford or somebody?
Yeah.
Is it Ford?
Ford does, yeah. Maybe Dodge does too.
How does that work? Is it like a joystick?
It's like camera, it's similar to the parking assist where they use the camera, and then I think the Ford has like a little target that you put on your trailer.
The trailer,
and
right?
so it helps you direct which way to go.
I like that shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's pretty
video
easy,
gaming.
though.
No, backing up a trailer is easy once you do it a few times, but like, no, but it's sort of intimidating, especially like in LA. Like I used to haul these cars around, and you'd have to like, do a 90-degree trailer turn in reverse on Centinela, and you'd fucking bug you out, right? Because people be honking at you. It's just the night. If you're
trying to turn into like an alley, and there's a car parked like nose up to the edge of the
But if you do it, you're like, I'm the man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you can tow something, that's like a real skill. Like if you are good at towing, you should be proud of yourself.
Like I could watch an overhead camera feed of like a FedEx transfer station all day of those those guys just mob it in reverse with them little single cabs. You could tell they're super uncomfortable, but they fly in reverse into the thing.
One of my favorite sort of driver skill videos to watch on YouTube is forklift tricks.
Forklift tricks?
Yeah, like forklift operators doing like just incredible stuff, like forklift loading itself into the back of a truck. Like,
I've seen that one.
And,
yeah.
There's a dude who like lights a cigarette with the... It's good.
I don't know if we can't pull up YouTube on YouTube. That's like a thing. But can you go to Instagram and see if there's an Instagram account worth following that's relative to forklift tricks? Because I need some new follows. Forklift memes, forklift simulator. There's hashtag forklift tricks. What do we got?
We got some videos.
Yeah.
Let's see.
My favorite Instagram that I follow, you'd probably totally relate, is called Shitty Rigs. And it's these like PAs that have an Instagram account of like using a shopping cart as a dolly and shit. What is this guy doing? He's got a forklift, lowering the forks.
He's picking up 50 cents.
Oh, he's picking up coins?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's picking up quarters?
Yes.
Oh, that's very satisfying. Strangely enough.
All right.
Just picking up change.
For the rest of the show, we're just going to be watching forklifts.
It's like the job interview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy might be doing something.
Oh, this guy's like mobbing in water. He's got he made a little like a Zamboni out of it. Yeah. Dude, we're doing construction across the street from my parking garage, and I just learned about Shotcrete. Shotcrete is awesome.
Tell me.
It's basically a fire hose that shoots concrete, and you make walls. So they rebar the wall, they rebar in between the I-beams, and they just pull up my Instagram. I just got a video of it, of these dudes blasting concrete at the wall. So
are you like embedding your enemies in the...
Yeah, no, there's a body behind this wall. So this guy's just like fire hosing concrete at the wall and making wall from a hose. So satisfying to watch.
I bet their boots are so heavy at the end of the day.
Oh my God. I was standing like 20 feet back from this, and I was getting like ricocheted with like concrete bits. But then these guys follow along with, those like the flat smoothing trowels that painters use. The dude's got one that's like 4 feet. Going, it's the most satisfying thing ever.
It sounds like it. I feel like that I would be happy to just watch those videos.
All day.
Yeah.
What else do you do in a truck test that isn't towing?
We loaded stuff.
What did you load?
Load.
We loaded like a quad.
Oh, okay, cool. Like up little ramps and stuff into
it?
You don't like have a backhoe that drops a whole bunch of rocks from like 10 feet ahead?
That would be a backhoe test.
No, it wouldn't. That's the truck test. When you do that, it's not the backhoe that's getting tested. It's the thing that the shit is landing on. Oh, is that
nobody uses their
backup
like
assist?
Yeah, it's not clear without playing the video.
That also says Volkswagen trailer assist on it.
It does.
Well, it's like once one company has one of these tricks, everybody has it.
Yeah, because it's like Bosch.
Yeah, like I've just been going through all the different new lane centering.
I fucking hate those.
Do you just twist that thing? Is that what you do?
Oh, yeah, it is. It's totally joystick. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Use electric power steering, and you just use the joystick. Wow. That's pretty cool. All right.
Or you could just turn the wheel.
You could also turn the wheel. Because it's like, which way do you turn the wheel? Which way do you turn the joystick? You know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But the lane centering, lane keep assist, I fucking hate lane keep assist. Are you not a fan? You're shaking your head. It's a radio show.
I don't like any of it because I like driving.
Me too.
But
what about radar cruise control?
I don't like that either because the only time that I really want it is at like 8 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And that's when it doesn't work.
That's when it doesn't work so good.
But at 80 miles an hour, I'm perfectly happy to drive the car.
You need like the best, like Mercedes and Tesla, obviously. Their traffic radar cruise is the shit. Yeah. Mercedes is really good too for there's Tesla, which they're in their own universe over there, and Mercedes as far as like normal cars go.
Yeah.
Theirs is really good for traffic. You ever go to a concert in San Diego on a Friday?
Yeah, I just did the San Diego drive, and that was what was making me think about how the only time I want the car to drive itself is when you're going like 9 miles an hour for 100 miles.
Totally. That if you go to a concert at the Sleep Train Amphitheater in San Diego on a Friday, it's going to take you 6 hours to get there. It's like 105 miles. That's just brutal.
It's tragic.
Yeah. I can feel the stress already. I got invited, the ID agency, Victor from the ID agency, invited me to their skybox for Formula Drift Irwindale, and I'm super stoked. But it's on Saturday, and he's like, be here at like 5:30, and I'm going, oh man, driving across LA at 4 p.m. on a Saturday is like brutal.
You need to figure out something that you want to do that's halfway there earlier in the day, like go to Pasadena and go hiking or something.
Totally. I was thinking Angeles Forest hiking is going to be the move, somewhere up Angeles Crest.
Especially right now because the weather's really great.
So lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, I keep asking the Edmunds guys, like, is there maybe a convertible I could test?
Yeah. So other than the Pilot, what kind of stuff are you driving?
I have a non-YouTube trailer assist video.
Oh, okay, cool. Play it. Let's see. Hopefully we don't get sued.
It's Ford's media website.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, he's turning the knob, and there goes the steering wheel. And that guy looks just like he would be the guy who's doing this in Ford's video.
That guy looks like he can back up a trailer.
Yeah, what they don't show is the disdain in the guy's face that he's got to use this knob.
Right.
I've been practicing this shit for 20 years. Ain't gonna make me use this fucking knob. He had those I work for Ford sunglasses. The sunglasses
with the suntan to go.
Yeah,
with
the
it.
I work in Detroit.
Yeah.
The Romeo Proving Grounds sunglasses. Oh man. Oh fucking hell. What's your favorite truck right now?
Of new trucks?
Yeah.
Well, I think the Ram is just the best.
They're nice. Truck. Like if you're just driving on the street, they're just nice.
Yeah, and they're doing stuff. They're like, what do truck people want? And then someone
they put that big ass screen in the middle.
Yeah, and the screen is whatever. I know people like that stuff. I don't care about that. It's more just like, oh, it's so smart that they have this convenient little step or this nice sort of pouch or whatever it is. That I thought that was impressive. But I'm an old truck person, so all the new trucks are nice. They're really fancy. They're really comfy. It's great. They're also insanely expensive.
Yeah, they're like $75,000 for pickup trucks, right?
I mean, when I was in school and stuff, like all the people I knew who were getting trucks were obviously racers, and then like art students, like sculpture kids and stuff, and like I don't know any sculptor who's going to be able to afford a $70,000 truck.
No, dude, because they're Texas luxury cars now. I think, right? I feel like the art student people are getting like used crossovers, and this is for like a rancher that's got like a government subsidy and wants a King Ranch, but no welfare. But it's not welfare. It's definitely not welfare when the government subsidy goes to a farmer driving a King Ranch. No.
Subsidize the oil industry.
Only when it goes to black people.
It's funny because, I bring home new cars now all the time, and my husband doesn't like any of them. Like he just doesn't think new cars are good. He's like, they all suck. It's like, doesn't matter what it is.
How many old cars are sitting at your house?
$200,000 Aston Martin, garbage. He doesn't like it. I brought home the Nissan pickup.
The Frontier or the Titan?
The little one, the like shitty little like $20,000
The one they've been making for 15 years unchanged.
And he says, this is a good truck. It's like, it doesn't have anything you don't need. It has bed.
It's a good truck. It's exactly the same as it was in 1997.
Yeah, which is probably the last time he ever liked a car.
Oh, it looks like they've rounded off the door handles ever so slightly. Is that it? That's it, right? You have give or take?
Might be foreign model, but yeah, looks about the same.
I think it has a couple more USB ports in it.
I'll take USB ports. Give me all the USB ports. There should be at least one, not at least, but there should be one per full-size seat. There's really no reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks when you when you're in the back of something and you have to ask the people in the front if they can charge for you, and then you're like sitting there going like, I hope I don't get any dirty text messages that like pop up on the screen.
Yeah,
it's
so easy to put a USB port in the back. Like, it doesn't need to like connect to the MMI. It just needs to be powered.
Yeah.
Because like if you, whatever the number of seats are, you should be able to go on a road trip and have everyone have their juice.
Yeah,
that's
because
all.
otherwise you have to talk to each other, and that's the worst.
That's bullshit. Don't fucking talk in the car. You say that, meanwhile, like, I don't like being talked to in the car, so I don't know.
That's why I have very loud cars.
That helps, drowns it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to have the windows down, and it's cool.
What do you have now? And have you eliminated cars because now you're on the press car train?
No.
Is your yard overrun with old cars right now?
Yes. I mean, there isn't anything super new. I think the only vehicle that we've got since the last time I talked to you was that yellow 78 dually crew cab that like I can't wait to take to Radwood.
Yeah.
I get dispensation to take to Radwood even though it's a 78 because it was painted in 83. So
the good news about that car is if someone else's shit don't work right, you can use it to tow them out of there.
Dude, I could put one of their cars in the bed of the truck and then I could tow another one. And I could push a third one.
Is a 78 dually like actually not that? Is that about the size of the current Ranger? Right?
Lengthwise, it's pretty long, but widthwise, yeah, it's not big.
And height, it's like a much more normal height, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why did trucks have to get so fucking tall?
Well, because SUVs got really tall and trucks had to be taller than SUVs because otherwise truck people didn't feel like they were getting their money's worth.
Isn't that funny? You know what? Manufacturers should never listen to customers because everyone who bought a first generation Mini that was like I had a first generation. I was 6'3" and 275 pounds driving a Mini, and I thought it was so spacious. And yet, anyone who filled out a customer survey was like, "You know what I'd like? More room." And they just keep making it bigger instead of going, "You're driving a Mini, you asshole! It's big enough."
Well, okay, so I was just thinking about this because I'm in the Pilot, and the Pilot is pretty big exterior, but you're close together inside. I'm not too close, but you're still pretty close.
Closer than you'd expect.
And I was looking around and I was thinking about new cars and it's like, oh, it's all this safety stuff. The vehicles have to be bigger on the outside because they've pushed all of the people into the middle.
Yeah, crumple zones and whatnot.
Yeah, and so now where like, for example, you know, on the 78 dually, if I want to put my arm on the window, my elbow sticks out.
Yeah.
But on the Pilot, I'm stretching, and I actually have like kind of a sore shoulder from driving it all weekend because I've been resting it up on the top instead of on the armrest.
I actually have a real thing about the size and position of that windowsill. It's got to be, bless you, Timmy. It's got to be right. And some cars, it's like it's too thin or it's too curved, and you can't rest your arm there.
Or there's a metal trim.
Oh, and it gets hot, and then you get a nice little burny burn there. But yeah, the older trucks, you could actually kind of lean your body on that door and hang your whole arm out.
Yeah,
and then when you got T-boned, you'd die.
Yeah, but you know, don't get T-boned.
Just don't get T-boned. If you find it to be dangerous, just drive slower. That's what the organizing body said to Formula One Drivers Association in the late 1960s when they were like, excuse me, organizers, this is very dangerous and someone's dying every weekend. And they're like, well, just slow down. Telling a bunch of race car drivers to just slow down. Fucking crazy world we live in. There's a Pilot with a bicycle on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is a press shot if there ever was one. Yeah, buddy.
For some reason, our shit is stretched all the time. It's
our aspect ratio?
It's only the assets, yeah. And I messed with it.
Well,
did the matting,
yeah, actually, for those of you watching at home, the
things.
Pilot does not look, it shouldn't really look like a Subaru Outback. Which
it's not a station wagon.
Yeah.
But also, I think we're stretched too. I'm definitely a lot thinner than that.
100%. Yeah, look at me. Yeah. I'm not that schlubby.
No.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I look like.
I think Tim, I think we're all stretched in that screen, and I don't know if it comes out that way in the output, but oh well. Okay, so you've got the 78 this dually, and then remind the folks, Willis, do you have the Opel still?
Yeah, I have Opel GT.
It's alive?
Oh yeah, that's really my daily. And I haven't had so many press cars that I haven't been driving it, so it's still driving. It's got this massive oil leak now.
Oh.
And I mean, I know what it is.
Is
and
it
I know
really
how to
massive,
fix it.
or is it
just a small car?
Because an oil leak always looks so much worse. It's like when you get a shaving cut, and it goes. It's like it looks.
It's
way
like a head
worse.
wound. You're right.
Yeah,
I mean, it literally is a head wound.
Like my old Lexus,
head,
That's a good one.
Thank you.
My old Lexus kind of sweats oil a little bit, but when the oil hits the ground, you go, "Oh my God, there's none left in the car."
It is always kind of amazing how much can be on the ground and then how much can still be on the dipstick. But it's always had an oil leak from the very minute that we built it, because I knew that it
you
would.
built it. Wait,
Yeah.
well then whose fault is that?
Oh, mine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because anyway, it's boring. There's space in between the gasket because there's this dumb 2-piece gasket. Anyhow, I need to take the head off and put a new gasket on it, and I've always known that, but I think that the gasket has finally saturated to the point where it is a much bigger leak than it was before.
Yeah.
And so now
the layer of resistance is gone. They've broken through the wall.
Yeah, and then it goes sort of right out the front onto the fan and then
Oh,
flings
and then
it
it
up.
sprays.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mess.
But you drive it. You just top it off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just top it off.
Right. And then you never have to change the oil because it's sort of self-changing.
That was my philosophy on the Lexus for a minute. We're almost done with that project finally. It's at like 996,000 miles. Never fucking thought it would actually get
Have
there.
you planned like the final?
Yes. So right now it's on its in theory, knock wood, its final loan. Someone borrowed it. A fan named Robert borrowed it and took it to his home in Indiana, where he has like an 800-mile-a-week commute. And when it gets to like 999, he's gonna drive it down to Texas, where the new Toyota Lexus Museum is being built. And I'll fly down there. We'll do a thing. We'll drive it. We'll finish the task. And then the two options right now are either I give it to Freddie Hernandez Tavarish, who has requested the privilege of putting twin turbos on it, which is perfect.
Yeah.
The oil will really come out of the gaskets then. A couple pounds of boost and it'll be like, but, or charity auction on Bring a Trailer. Just give it away for charity. And I mean, I'll get $8 or something, but somebody might want to get down on it and have some fun.
Yeah.
It's in better shape now by far than it was when I got it. You know, and even with an extra 100K, it's still in way better shape. And again, knock wood, it is never in the 4 years we've been doing. It's never left anyone stranded.
Don't do it.
Never. I knocked on wood.
All right.
Knocked on wood.
Yeah.
And even if it does, it's not me.
It's weird how some cars are like that, right? Like our Dodge Polara, we have a '69 Dodge Polara, and it's not my favorite car, but we put a bajillion miles on it because both, like, I drive it and my husband Tom drives it. Like, it's just, and it has never failed to get us home. It has never been on a trailer in the whole time that we've had it.
Like, other shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
But it's never caused AAA to be called.
Yeah, and like it's had some decent failures, but it usually gets home from them. Like most recently, the air compressor seized up, so the belt's shredded, and so he just cut the remaining belt off and drove it home.
With no belt?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Well, it's alternator belt.
Oh, it's a different belt.
Yeah.
It's not like the main.
It's not the water pump.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
They have separate belts?
Yeah.
Now they all use one belt, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you can't do that anymore.
When did they switch to that?
I don't know, late 80s.
What was the last
90s?
car to use a bunch of belts?
I don't know, the last car to use a V-belt? That's a good audience question. Ask them.
Okay, audience. Here's a question. What's the last car to use V-belt?
I like those kind of questions. The most recent one that Tom and I were kicking around was, what was the last vehicle to have working wing windows?
Ooh.
Because I love wing windows.
Yeah, no, they're really nice when you have them. Got it.
1986 CJ7. I'm gonna go with that.
Did
one.
you?
I think it's later than that.
What about
I think
the
it might be like almost
Cherokee?
97.
Cherokee.
Ooh, Cherokee's had them.
Cherokee's
Yeah.
had them,
XJs.
right?
Well, I think Ford pickup trucks had them for a pretty long time.
Like the Bronco 2 and that little Ranger they had them, but not the rounded F-150s. They didn't have them. What about this, like a early 90s Super Duty? Did that have them? Maybe.
I think Super Duty might be the last
maybe,
one
right?
to have it. But again, I don't know. I like to just throw these questions out there and then never do the research to find the answer.
Oh man, I love that. You should go work for Jalopnik with something like that. It's a perfect Jalopnik job. Audience question. I can't think of anything newer than the XJ Cherokee that had them, right?
Well, and the reason I've been thinking about it is because not working ones, like not ones that roll down.
Oh,
but
a commenter just said Montero's had them until 2002.
But then he
retracted it.
He said,
91 F-150. Those last Monteros were not great. Sorry, sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say that I'm starting to see wing window, little triangle windows in cars again because it takes up that blind spot,
right.
the A-pillar problem spot.
The fatty A-pillars.
Yeah, but they don't ever like roll out, and I wish that they did because I love having a window down.
That vent, I know. I need fresh air. Like if I'll get into this, always happens to me. Like when I get into an Uber, and I'll be like, how are you driving this car around and there is no movement of air at all? How do you not feel like you're about to die?
Yeah, and also it smells like butt.
That too. I have never that I can recall had a really smelly Uber driver. I had one with a really gross car. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But they didn't personally smell.
I've never had a smelly driver, but sometimes the cars smell like sweaty people.
Thank God that we don't have autonomous cars, because humans could not, without just the basic, the fact that there's another person in that car keeps a human most of the time from acting slightly above an animal.
Oh, for sure. Like as soon as there are autonomous Ubers, every time you get one, there's going to be poop in it.
Or vomit or jizz.
All three, maybe.
Yeah. People are all like, oh, they'll just put there'll be a camera in there and that'll prevent you from doing it. Like, fuck, no, it won't. Not if there's not a human to instantly be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Did you find one, Tim?
Jalopnik article.
Jalopnik actually had this question
Yeah,
posted.
exactly.
A Grand Marquis wagon? Is that what that was?
That's a
wood-sided?
Yeah, it's a 91.
Can't believe they fucking...
This guy's saying maybe a 95 Toyota pickup had it.
Okay. Toyota pickups. Wow. That car looks... that 95 Toyota pickup looked too rounded to actually have a wing mirror. I associate it with such square cars, you know? Or something so old.
I think it's weird that Toyota pickup looked pretty good to me now. Like,
oh, yeah.
I remember...
That Toyota pickup is $25,000 on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, no shit.
That was what I was talking about. The 90s F Super Duty. Yeah. That had it. That's 97. The one. Yeah. How good do those look now?
Really good.
The 90s, those 90s trucks look great now.
I mean, their grills are still a little bit like, oh...
I like the end of the run ones. I think it worked itself out at the end.
Yeah.
You know what has not aged well? The early 90s Chevys. The really square Chevys, I don't think have aged well at all.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I don't mind those.
No?
I feel like the really square anythings look good to me right now. I'm tired of round stuff.
Yeah, well, certainly like the late 90s Fords with the round noses have not aged well.
Yeah.
And
that's
any
all those,
mid-90s.
like, jelly bean style.
Jelly bean style's not good. Maybe you can help me out, actually. Hannah, my fiance, her Volvo lease is up in a couple of months, and she wants a square car. She likes boxy or square cars. But her only options are like Wrangler or fucking G-Wagon, both of which are not good options for her. Can you think of any currently produced cars that are like kind of square? Like there's almost nothing.
No, I mean, well, because square cars get terrible mileage and everybody's worried about that.
I know. But she drives around LA at 18 miles an hour. The aerodynamics are so irrelevant. But she's so offended. We rented a Wrangler in Hawaii and she hated it. And she's utterly offended by the idea of a G-Wagon. As she should be.
Yeah, as she should.
As she should be. Because bro, you know.
Well, I mean, those things are amusing, but it's kind of like going around in costume all the time.
Yeah.
So
when I got a G-Wagon press car, like there wasn't anything like totally like there wasn't anything wrong with it per se, but I really felt like an asshole in a way I've never really felt before in another car. I was like, this thing has like a cami idle and it's like a refrigerator box on stilts. Like what was this for?
Yeah, I had the Escalade and I felt like an asshole, but in a way that I kind of was into.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because you're a friendly girl and I look like the kind of person that should be driving a G-Wagon like a dick, and so
yeah, you need a V-neck t-shirt, right. But yeah.
Actually, believe it or not, my dad bought an Escalade. He lives in Greenwich, Connecticut. Yeah, he has a new one. They are like giving them away in Greenwich, Connecticut. Like there was like 40 on the hood. I mean, it was extraordinary how cheap it was for, I think the sticker was like 96 and he got it for like 60. It was crazy.
Well, I hope that he drives it in good health and enjoys it.
You know what? You don't give a fuck. It's fine.
Yeah, well, that's what that is exactly the attitude with which to drive an Escalade.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, no, not like, he doesn't drive it like a BMW driver.
No, that's a different, I mean.
He drives it like he doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's just a big fucking truck,
right.
yeah.
Well, how about that for Hannah?
A huge truck. Oh my God.
Or
not only does
Escalade.
she like never have passengers or anything in the car, but like you couldn't fit that in a garage.
Right, how does she feel about wagons?
Well, her Volvo is a wagon. She
what
loves
about the VW wagon?
What, like the Passat or the Golf All-Track or whatever?
Yeah, the All-Track.
Maybe.
Is
I'll
it not
bring her.
fancy enough for her?
No, she's not snobby at all like that.
I really liked it. Does she drive stick?
No.
Would she want to?
You know what's crazy? I taught her in 20 minutes how to drive stick, and she was great at it. Picked it up right away, no problem. Like Dockweiler parking lot, 20 minutes, and then she drove us around the whole rest of the day. And then she refused to go out without me. She didn't trust herself to do it without me there.
I totally understand because I learned to drive stick very late. I mean,
like in your 20s, right?
Oh,
30s?
I think in my 30s.
Even 30s?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was very stressful. So I'm very sympathetic to people who find it intimidating. But I also say to those people that eventually you get past that point, and now I'm
not even that. It's like a couple of days.
Like people are like, "Oh God, do you want to drive stick in traffic?" I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like once you've got it down, like you don't
think about it anymore.
Yeah, the other day I was in traffic, like in the Opel, eating a banana, sending text messages, like whatever, doesn't matter. Shift with your elbow.
Multitask the fuck out of this thing.
Right.
That's when you get I have the little loop on the back of my cell phone for that, so I can fucking freehand push it and thing. But
well, I had the a 6-speed all-track, and I really liked it.
The Volkswagens have like very light controls. The clutch and the steering wheel, they're so light.
It was really nice. I thought it was a nice car.
It had good little suspension travel too, right?
Yeah, you can actually go on a dirt trail with it.
Did you go on a dirt trail with
it?
What dirt trail did you Did you go to?
Well, it was just a little tiny one up in the hills above the valley, but like near where the Nike base is.
Oh, yeah. I like we were just talking about this outside. I really like when people take Subaru Outbacks and put like big knobbies on them. Not like a lift kit or anything like that, but like a kind of a mud terrain type of setup. I think it's a good look.
They're doing more and more of that too.
They are. Yeah, Cameron, the guy who did the Watch podcast with, just got an Outback for his wife, and he said there's a dealer in Orange County that the cars on the showroom floor have like BFG ATs on. I'm like, cool, rad.
I wonder what that does for mileage if you're just doing street driving.
It's probably terrible.
Yeah. But it looks cool.
Yeah, did you see my Safari car on Instagram? It's done. Dude, this is my new daily driver.
It to me, Tim.
This is my new daily driver. It's a 911 87,
nice.
Little hot rodded engine, little exhaust, little ignition work, little intake, little bit of here and there. 4-inch lift, BFG ATs, braid wheels. That was Lee Keen doing a fucking burnout in it because he's an asshole. Because it's testing. We're testing.
That looked like official testing to me. That looked like closed course testing.
Totally
to me.
Closed course. It's in Georgia. That might as well be closed course. But rally lights and skid plates, the whole deal.
I like it.
And go to the interior. The interior. Did you see the interior? Woo!
I did see the interior. I'm very pleased with your interior action these days.
I like to go wild on it. I don't fuck around. That's LA City bus fabric.
You know what?
Public transit
I think
fabric.
I rode on buses with that.
Yeah, and what's funny is it sounds so cool to say that, but then when you sit in it, you go, oh, this feels cheap and industrial.
Oh yeah,
it's not the luxury version of that fabric.
It's got to be because
fabric.
homeless people put their balls on that stuff.
Yeah, it's like vomit proof and like poo resistant and all that
it's
shit.
Great. It's perfect for a daily driver. Well, I would like to go out in it.
100%.
When it's back.
It'll be back here soon.
Want to serve a picnic on that wing and
Once Lee, spends a few more days beating the piss out of it, and there's no tires left, I'm sure he'll send it back to me eventually. Okay, so Dodge Polara, Opel GT. Old ass dually truck.
Yeah.
What else is littering the yard?
Well, first, let me just say that the old ass dually truck was a 440 gas engine, and then we put a Cummins turbo diesel in it out of a 89, I think.
So that's modern-ish eyes.
12 valve. Yeah, it's great. It's so good. It fits perfectly.
Really?
We
did you have any like issues, or was it just a basic enough like setup that you really didn't require much guesswork?
It didn't require a lot of guesswork because we did a lot of prep work. It did require a lot of work. I mean, we actually took the core support out of both trucks and drilled out all the spot welds and sort of.
You have to like remake the engine bay kind of thing?
Only the front.
Tim's trying to scroll down and find a picture of it. Oh, is that it right there? Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, you're going to have a
It's
ways
buried?
to go. There's a lot of action around the house.
Your house is just
that's the view from inside right there.
your house is just it's like I don't want to say graveyard because the cars aren't dead, but it's definitely like
it's more like
why don't you have a reality show about your house yet?
because we never fight.
Oh, why don't you fake it? That's what all the rest of them do.
Yeah.
There it is with the hood up. Oh, what a great color. Are those stripes original too?
The stripes were put on in '83 by the original owner who used to tow a race boat with it.
And it matched?
Yeah. Right? Rig of the month.
I
So
love
good.
that. Was it really a rig of the month in some?
I'm sure.
Oh, for you.
I think it was in a magazine, so I
I
haven't
love
found it
when
yet.
the guys match their trucks and their boats.
Yeah.
That's so fucking awesome. Especially that's like the yellow, black, and white really works. You remember you ever see the pictures of the Lamborghini boat with the Lamborghini tow rig?
Yeah.
Can you give me a picture of the Lamborghini speedboat with the fucking tow rig? It's hysterical. A Ventador
I was
themed
thinking
speedboat.
about painting the Opel to match the truck with the
Totally.
same stripes.
Yeah. Because wait, the Opel's yellow or it's orange?
It's orange.
It's orange.
But it needs a paint job.
That's good.
That's
I
really
like.
good.
I love those trailers that tilt the boat sideways for display. It's just the most ostentatious thing. It's perfect. And no, the Lamborghini doesn't actually tow the boat, but I like that they use their triangles and everything.
Yeah, and the ribs are good.
There's design cues.
There've been a lot of those, right? Corvette did one. Ferrari
Well, the
did
Corvette
one.
boat was an actual. Our friend Doug owns one of those.
Does
I was
he?
supposed to drive it on Thursday, but I had to go to South Carolina instead. Pull up the Corvette boat. It was made by Malibu, and they put the Corvette tail lights, the 4 tail lights on the back of it, and I think it had it was when they Mercury Marine was doing the ZR1 engines, so that was the thing. Yeah, there it is, the red one. That's it. Look at that thing.
I like it because it's a little bit of a dorky boat.
It's
Yeah,
so
totally.
dorky.
like it's kind of like high and not fast looking.
Extremely dorky, and that's
Mercedes did one too, didn't they?
Well, there's like AMG Design, and then
Yeah.
Lexus has one, and then the one on the left there, Tim, I think is the actual original old one. No, it's not it. That's newer. Keep going down. There's one that has like the '90s lights on it. That's an older one. I don't know. There was an older Corvette boat. But it's very funny. That one's like a C6 Corvette boat. It even has the C6 seats in it, doesn't it? Aren't those C6 chairs? It looks like it.
2008 Malibu Z06.
Yeah. That's very funny. Yeah, look at that. It's got an LS motor in it. Or is that's a different picture entirely?
No, that's a LS7.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
There was one with the Mercury Marine engine in it from back in the day. Oh, of course it's got the system up front.
Got the
How do you
Beats.
not have the bumping system up front?
120 G's.
What
Yeah,
a
it's
waste of
dorky.
money. It's super
Just get
dorky.
a Bayliner for 18 grand.
Yeah, it's super dorky, but that's fun.
Have you
I
ever
think
had
you
a
should-
boat? Are you a boat person?
I am a boat person. I grew up sailing actually, and I could sail before I could drive. And my dad has a powerboat, which I try to use whenever I can. I don't have the time to own a boat here, but I'm a member of the sailing club, the Marina Sailing Club. Did you like
Really?
sailing?
I like being on boats where people who know what they're doing
Yeah,
are
yeah.
sailing, but I don't like it when I have to do any work.
That's fine. Come out with me. Yeah, the sailing club, they have boats. So you pay an annual membership fee and you just check the boats out.
I would love that.
Oh, it's so
Can
rad.
we see some dolphins?
Yes, we see dolphins all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We
Done.
almost
I'm
always see
in.
dolphins. And in the marina, we see a ton of sea lions as well. They go up, they sit on the decks
Mm-hmm.
of people's boats and really annoy the owners of the boats, but I think they're great.
Yeah.
We go out all the time.
that sounds
It's really
super fun.
I'd love to have you, and you don't have to do shit.
Okay, I mean, I'll pull something if it's like one thing and I just have to pull it. But if
You don't
you're
even
like,
have to do that.
If I have to like jump around and know what I'm doing.
No, you don't. You
I'll just fall off.
You just eat cheese and drink wine and shit.
Done.
Yeah. I really like doing all that stuff, and if someone wants to do it with me, like great. But if you want to sit there and do the wine and cheese thing, I'll do fucking all of it.
That's my skill set.
So, wine and cheese. I'm so good at that.
Most people do no things.
Yeah,
They just chill.
Tim likes to do a thing.
I like to do things.
I keep thinking about that fucking livery on that truck. What a great color scheme that is.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I can really picture a new Lamborghini with that exact stripe. You know what I mean? I really can.
Well, hopefully there's someone out there who's really, really bored, and they're gonna draw that up for us.
You should really paint the Opel to match that.
We should just paint everything we own to match it.
Would you? Do you have any qualms about painting the Opel?
Not really, although I think that paint scheme, because you only saw the front of it and it's pretty big.
What happens at the back?
There's more colors and there's like a fade.
Oh, really?
There's it might kind of be a little bit more than the Opel has sheet metal for.
It's like he started at the front and it worked out, and by the time he just kept adding things by the time he got to the back. Oh wait, can you talk to me about Race of Gentlemen? Because isn't that where that's from?
No, that is actually the Pismo Beach Vintage Dune Buggy reunion.
That's different from Race of Gentlemen.
Well, so Race of Gentlemen, which is awesome, is sort of very theatrical kind of Goodwood style hot rodding.
Right, period dress.
Yeah, what is it, like, World War II era and period dress and all of that. The Vintage Dune Buggy Club is like actual dune buggies. So like before, all the side-by-sides and razors and stuff that people buy now, like the stuff that was invented that eventually
when there was really no formula and no rules,
and they
it
were
was
basically
like,
hot rods.
Oh my God, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck, that's awesome, dude. You bringing that to Radwood for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that incredible? Yeah. You're right. He should have stopped a couple of colors ago.
Well,
if you block off the whole picture but the nose, it's great. The nose is great.
Yeah.
And then that sort of angular stripe thing. I'm so glad you have that. How long is that?
All of it?
All the length.
That's so big. It's your whole driveway.
I know. It's really big.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you have that. That is so perfect. The color scheme is so fucking awesome.
But it's like, the Opel wouldn't even be big enough to have all of it on there.
Yeah, no, you could probably drive the Opel into the bed of that.
Oh, yeah, I think I could, actually.
The Opel's really narrow. I bet you probably could drive it into the bed of that. Wait, so the Dune, what kind of shit do you see at the Dune buggy?
Oh, man, it was rad. So there's like really old school ones which were called water pumpers, and they were basically hot rods with no bodies. Like it would be a Model A chassis.
And does water pumper mean they're water cooled? Is that where you get that from?
Yeah, it means it's got a radiator. Okay. So it's
as opposed to a Volkswagen engine.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So those early ones were like a Model A chassis. And
that looks dangerous.
That's a tunnel buggy. So that's like right after the water pumper. So that is a Volkswagen Pan and a VW engine.
Oh. And what does the term tunnel buggy come from?
Because it's just the tunnel of the floor of the VW Pan, and then just like they made like a little flat floor around it. So it's like they just cut out the tunnel and the suspension and the running gear.
That's crazy. Does it flex like nothing else?
No, they're pretty. I mean, so that's a water pumper. See, it's like basically just.
So that's just like a Model A frame rail with two seats on it, right?
Yeah,
pretty much?
And I think that one might be a Toyota engine or something. That one was built in the 70s.
That is hilarious.
They were really fun, and the people were really nice, and they have a club.
How many of those things are out there?
300 maybe.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say like 50.
No, a lot of them were later stuff, VW powered stuff, or like the Manxes and Manx related stuff.
I just drove my first ever Myers Manx.
What did you think?
So, first off, it was like it was a real Manx, and it was restored and mildly hot rodded by Volkswagen. It was the one. Did you do anything at Bonneville with them in last month?
No, they didn't invite me, Nicole.
Sorry. So I went out there to drive their stupid fast Jetta.
Yeah.
I did 211 in it, which is
That is
hysterical.
so rad.
But they had out like a class 11 or is it class 11 or class 1?
Bugs.
The Bug.
Yeah, class 11.
And they had a Manx, and I couldn't have given a shit about the Beetle. I don't like Beetles. But the Manx was gorgeous. Gorgeous. There's pictures of it on my Instagram if you go back. And I was like, can I just take this out and like go down the track by where the EMTs were to watch Emmy Hall do her run? And they were like, yeah, go ahead. And It was fantastic. It had a lot of room. The seating position was great. The view out the window was great. I mean, it was slow as shit. Even a hot rod one was slow as shit. But it cruised at 70 pretty nicely. It felt really. It was really cool. If I were to ever have any Volkswagen-y products like that, it would have to be a good Manx. Yeah. It was cool. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah,
that one in that picture is Manx number one, and that's Bruce Myers, the Myers Manx inventor, and his wife sitting in it.
But he's not the same Bruce Myers.
No,
different Bruce. Yeah,
Bruce Meyer.
Oh, Meyer, right?
Is the wealthy car collector who has a great interest in hot rodding hobby, and then Bruce Myers, who's about 20 years older, I think.
So he's old.
He's 92.
Yeah. And did he really put gas tanks on the front and the side?
That seems. It really seems safe to have. This thing literally looks like it has a bomb strapped to its front bumper.
So he
and the rockers.
Yeah.
He went down to Mexico, to Baja in that Manx in 1967 or something like that. Maybe it was a little bit earlier, and he set the first car record down there. So before that, people would run time trials, and there were motorcyclists had set.
Is this before the 1000 existed?
Yes.
There was no race.
There was no race.
It was just this dude and his little red Manx. Yeah. Fuck.
And then they won the first Mexican 1000 in a Manx. He raced down there a bunch of times. Crashed.
That's a guy worth talking to.
Oh my God, I cannot recommend enough that people look up Bruce Myers and his story, because that's just part of it. Inventing that buggy in the 60s was just part of it.
That was his side project. What was his rigor?
He did those big catamarans or something, big
sailboats,
big fiberglass boats. And then
can you look up a Bruce Myers catamaran? Now you guys talking about boats. Now I'm fucking interested. Bruce Myers catamaran.
He was a World War II hero.
Of course he was. Why
jumped
wouldn't
off
he
of
be?
a burning.
Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
A fucking hero. Bruce Myers catamaran. This is Is this his garage?
No, that's the other Bruce Meyer, I think.
That's Bruce Meyer.
Single Meyer.
I like Bruce Meyer. He's always been very nice to me.
Maybe
here we go. Catamarans.
Or maybe just try Bruce Meyer's boat. I think it's catamarans that he did, but I'm not a boat enough person to be sure.
You're gonna have to come out with me. We'll make you a boat person. Bruce Meyer. He's got one of these speedboats. There's
jumping that one.
I wouldn't be surprised because he's a fiberglass guy, right?
Right, exactly.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he
learned fiberglass with surfboards, then boat building.
Right,
then he made the buggy bodies, and then after he got ripped off with all the copycats in the late 60s and 70s, he made hot tubs. He made a race car bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet they're worth money. I bet that's
I've never seen one.
That's him, huh?
Yep.
That was by far the best Volkswagen-y kind of air-cooled, product that I've driven. His has real luxury seats in it too, doesn't it? The one I drove had the little buckets.
Well, you could put whatever you wanted in them. That's what's so great about them. I'm building one with my friend Perry now, and it's kind of Mustang themed. So we're putting Mustang buckets in it.
Oh, fun. Is it an original body?
Mm-hmm.
It is?
Yeah.
Was it in a state of disrepair? Is it in pretty good shape?
No, it was a brand new original body.
Whoa, where'd you get that?
Well, Perry had it. He's another one of these.
One of those guys, like the other Bruce Meyer?
Maybe not quite to that level, but not too far down.
Well, that guy's extremely next level.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, because I'm in that Checkered Flag 200 Club thing, which is it's like a sort of charity organization at the Peterson. Truth be, if I'm completely honest, I joined it to suck up to Bruce Meyer.
Is it working?
No. Not because he isn't very nice to me, which he is, and he's introduced me to some very nice people. It's because he owns all the Rolex stores. That's why. And then I joined it, and he was like, "Oh, I don't run them. My nephew runs them," and his nephew couldn't give a fuck about me. And I was like, "Well, this hasn't gone the way I thought it was going to." But they do stuff at the Peterson. Yeah, they do stuff. And look, it's for charity. They do stuff at the Peterson, and I have met a couple of nice people, so it's not a wash. But my original goal was not met. I think there's actually a Bring a Trailer meet at the Peterson coming up like next Saturday or maybe 2 Saturdays.
There is a lot of interesting stuff coming up this month because there's that. There's the California Hot Rod Reunion Nostalgia Drag Races up in Bakersfield.
What's that about? Historic drag racing? Cool. Are you going to go to that?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's like, but are you doing it for work or are you doing it for fun?
Half and half.
You know, that's the good part about being married or to someone who's into cars is like you can do that kind of stuff. For me, like I don't think I would want to be with someone because my whole life is car. I think I like the break, but I don't do anything car related for like a vacation anymore, really. And if I do, Hannah opts out.
Yeah, it's a mixed blessing. I mean, I would say overall it's good because I don't think. I mean, Tom and I just wouldn't ever see each other if we didn't both like doing car stuff. But there's negatives to it as well. For example, we spend a lot more money because there's nobody who says don't do that.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
like
no one who thinks a project car is a bad idea.
Yeah, like right now he's like, I really want a Lincoln Continental, but I also want an Eldorado. And I was like, let's get both.
Some fucking enabling shit you are.
You know, and so like
crazy.
we were talking about selling the Polara. Mike Musto really wants it.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And
Mike Musto pays for cars by the foot.
Right?
It's like 20. The best way to get money out of Mike Musto is go, listen, I got a car for you. It's 29 feet long.
Well, you know,
sold.
He's a big dude and he probably likes things that make him feel delicate.
That's hilarious.
But
never used the word Mike Musto and delicate together before. It's really fucking funny.
Anyway, he wants the car, and if I was going to sell it to anybody, I would be happy to sell it to him.
It would be in good hands.
You know, he would love it with great tenderness. But like we were talking about earlier, it is literally our best car. Like,
you can't sell your best car.
Like there's no way that we could get another car that was that reliable.
Is it reliable by accident, or did you do things to make it work that well? It just happens to be reliable.
I mean, I think you know this too. Anybody who does car stuff knows that. I mean, you do stuff to make them reliable, but there's always a little bit of luck in it. It's like getting a dog. Like, you can train your dog, but some dogs are just really good.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes cars are just, you know, I don't know, it was built on a good day in the factory.
Right? Like, you never want to buy an Italian car that was built in September. They take that month of August off. They just drink wine the whole time and sleep. They come back. They have no idea how to do their jobs.
They can't even remember the wiring diagram anymore.
It's a joke, but it's for real. You don't want to buy an Italian car from September. It's built in September.
When is the right time to buy an Italian car?
Now. I just bought an Italian car.
I know.
I'm so nervous about it, but I'm so happy at the same time. So it wasn't built in September. It was built in March. Thank God. They had a few months of practice before they built mine. No, it's I'm gonna fucking rule. I want to win a trophy at Radwood and Pebble with the same car. If I can make that happen, that would be the shit. But
it's like, what's the EGOT only?
What's EGOT is the
like
what?
Emmy,
Tony, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
we
need to come up with two more.
What are the other ones? So Pebble, Radwood.
What's the Florida one?
Amelia Island.
Yeah.
And then Greenwich Concourse. Oh no, what's the one in the Lake Como one? The Lake Como one is the crazy one.
Or Goodwood.
Goodwood. Yeah, I mean running up the hill at Goodwood.
Yeah.
A bunch of people, you know, all of our friends have the same job, and so a bunch of people saw that I bought this thing, which if you're just tuning in is an 88 Countach Quattro valve.
Of course.
And Larry Webster, now at Haggerty, goes, did you buy a Countach? Yeah. He goes, dude, got a guy in LA with a Vector. Let's fucking do a drag race. And I'm like, okay. I'm not even saying no to that. I'm like, that sounds great. And he goes, I just drove this Vector, and man, he goes, it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I really expected them to be terrible, but this one was like really put together well. And I go, oh yeah. He goes, yeah, and it was VIN number 1. I go, that means it was the press car. Of course, Charlie. We got a dog in the studio today.
Charlie, what's happening?
Of course it was put together well. It was the press car. Drive VIN number 8. Let's see how that one is. Charlie, what's wrong?
She heard a noise outside.
Yeah.
She heard a thing.
But she only heard it with one ear. Have they seen Charlie?
No.
I don't know.
She's
Charlie's
one
on the
ear
team.
up, one ear down. She's like a cartoon dog.
She's the cutest dog ever. Charlie, come here.
Luckily, my own dogs aren't watching this, so I can agree that she might actually be the
say hi to the
cutest dog
cameras?
ever.
I might have a Instagram picture of her.
Come here, Charlie. See, look here. Now we can. Oh, hi. See, there she is.
Here she is too.
Charlie is
Look
a
at
good
the ear.
She got the one ear happening. Do you want to sit on my lap for the rest of the show, Charlie?
There's the one ear.
Oh,
ready for takeoff.
Charlie is the best dog. Her owner is single, likes surfing, meditating.
He's cute.
And,
I can see him.
For all of the 1% audience that is female out there.
We have a girl on the show today, so it's probably 4% female today.
I wish I had a larger female audience. You know how Instagram will now give you your analytics?
Oh, no. Do they?
Yeah, you can see the breakdown. And so I don't know. Sometimes women on the internet put male as like their identifying characteristics so that bad people don't know.
Well, I mean,
who and what. But
would that matter on Instagram? Because someone would I presumably find the pictures of the person who's not
assuming they're selfies. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the percentage that it told me that was women is actually greater.
What did it tell you, like 3%?
6.
6? Well, 6 is much higher than most car-related people would get.
But if any of you out there are women and are not following me on Instagram, please do, because I will be very happy to see you.
Challenge
and
her.
if you have women in your life who like dogs, there are a lot of dogs. It's not just cars, dogs, and every once in a while outfits even.
A commenter just said, Pebble, Radwood, Amelia, Quail is prac.
Perfect.
That'll be perfect. It doesn't sound any dumber than EGOT.
No, I think it sounds less dumb.
Prac is good.
EGOT sounds like some sort of mold.
Right? I guess someone who just got that? Was it John Legend? No, who just did the round? Someone just did it.
I know about cars and dogs.
Was it John Legend? Who just did the EGOT? Someone just got it. I can't remember who it was, but it was like hashtagging EGOT, all this shit, and I didn't know. I couldn't understand what it was, and I had to go do some John Legend. I did get it right.
Yeah.
My celebrity shit is in order. Speaking of celebrity shit, the funniest thing on the internet today was a news reporter. I guess fucking Kanye went to the White House. Ugh.
I did see that was happening.
Forget him going to the White House because it's just a gathering of idiots over there. But
Hydrogen plane.
Kanye fucking unlocked his phone with 1 million cameras overlooking his shoulder, and his password was 0000. And someone just put that fucking video, and so of course everyone on Twitter is going, "Amazing! I have the same combination on my luggage."
Oh man! If only every day was an opportunity to make a Spaceballs joke.
Right? For Elon, it is.
Yeah.
Elon, I love his obsession with Spaceballs, but he went on Joe Rogan and tried to explain the Spaceballs, the flamethrower joke, and he fucking flubbed the whole line. It was embarrassing. He's so awkward.
Why don't they tell us?
No, I saw him at the mall. I saw him.
What was he? Was he buying a pretzel?
He was going into the ArcLight movie theater at at the 3rd Street Promenade, and I saw him going up the escalator and with his. I guess he has a kid. I think he has a son.
Okay.
He was with like a 8 or 10-year-old kid, and he was like. He just looked like a dorky dad, and I was like, my brain has been scrambled now because like you need to be over here, and and then it was just too normy.
You were picturing him sitting in like a leather chair,
like a lair,
like a cat with no fur,
a hairless cat, just eating DMT and picking up lasers. Oh, we got a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
should we take some questions from the audience?
Let's do it.
Sure. This is going to be dangerous. I apologize if
we'll skip a couple.
Right.
Well, lucky for you, I'm not new to the internet.
I know. It fucking bothers me how people treat women that aren't deserving of any of it. It's fucking horrible.
Who is deserving of the way that people treat each other on the internet?
Elon. No, most people are not. Most people are not. From S, thank you for your donation. Boom36 says, does Elana have any good underdog stories? Being underestimated or showing some haters what's up? It's a good question.
Well, generally, I'm pretty lousy at things. So I don't usually try to set myself out to show people up. But I do have a pretty good story from HotRod, which is that when the Hellcat first came out and everyone was like, it can't run the number, it's impossible to drive, I can't run better than a 16 ET in it. We did a story where the engineer, Jim Wilder, who is a lovely human being, came out to Los Angeles. We went to the drag strip and we got 2 Hellcats and we did a 2 out of 3 drag race. Basically, we did a story and video where it was like, he showed me how to do
like
it, how
launch
to set
it
it
properly,
up. And then we were going to do best 2 out of 3. Well, what Jim and even the other people at HotRod didn't really know is the only real driving skill I have is drag racing big engine cars with small tires. So I actually already knew how to drive the Hellcat and had already been on a drag strip with it. So I ended up beating Jim.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pretty solidly.
That's a good one. I like that.
And there were the other people who were at the track that day was a story that CarCraft was doing, which was this big group of street racers. Mm-hmm. And they were just like, at first they were just like, oh, whatever, lame new cars. And then by the end they were just like, oh, damn. She was sandbagging him so hard.
That's awesome.
So anyway, but thank you very much to Jim for being a gracious loser.
What's the best way to launch a Hellcat?
Gently.
True. Have you done Demon?
Yeah.
Did you like Demon?
I did like Demon.
Musto says the Demon is the best one even for street driving because it's the softest because it doesn't bounce.
It is the softest. It's very much like driving like a 70s car.
Mm-hmm. That's why he likes it.
Yeah. I would say that if I were purchasing one for myself for driving, I would probably get a wide body.
What, regular Hellcat wide body?
Yeah. And if I was getting one for myself, I would get the Charger because I like the fact that it's still a little bit sleepery and it's just a little bit more useful.
The Jeep's pretty sleepery.
Yeah, the Jeep is good.
Have you had to go in the Jeep?
Yeah, the Jeep is really good.
Yeah, the Jeep is really stupid and really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great because like you can do some Jeep things with it. I don't mean like off-roading, but like I had it at Road Atlanta and curbing. It's like what fucking ever.
Yeah.
Through the grass. It was hilarious.
It is nice to be in vehicles that because everything is so low and has so much plastic underneath and has such big, fancy, delicate wheels. Mm-hmm. Delicate like Mike Musto.
I'm gonna get calls.
I love Mike so much. Mike, I love you. I love you, dude. But it's like everything's really fragile. Like even the big tough stuff is fragile, and it's like you go past a parking lot where somebody's knocked off a piece of curb concrete or something, and it's just like, well, there's that.
Yeah, I like the Jeep. That's why the Jeep is fun. You can really not care what you're running over. Poor people and whatever. Well, Kel, I'm not reading that, but thanks for your donation. Quinn, thank you for your donation. Z24, how do you know when it's time to move on from a car and change up the fleet? I.e., how did I know when it was time for the vet to go?
How did you?
I get to a point where, so I mean, you and I aren't really like other folks because we get the taste.
Because we're so good looking.
We get the taste. You know what I mean? You get, you have a car that's within your budget or whatever, or you modify it to your liking, but then you go out and you drive the brand new thing and you go, oh, well, this does all those things better and with less of a headache. And so I used to develop like these like really strong emotional attachments to cars. I'm like, I'm never selling this. Now it's like that Mustang that I'm selling. Next week I'm bringing a trailer, my Fox body. That is exactly the car I wanted 4 years ago. Right? But since I started that project, I've driven all the new 911s. You know what I mean? I've driven all the new exotic stuff. And even like the new, like, what I'm driving now, like the Lexus GSF, where I'm just like, man, it took a lot of engineering to make this Mustang not a 911. Yeah. And I think there's just, I realized over time that like you can improve and tweak at certain things, but you can't really turn something into something else. It doesn't really work like that. So for me, I get to that point where the car is done or whatever, and I've done the things, and I go, all right, well, either I sell this or I have to put 20 grand into it to make it interesting.
I think, I mean, that's always a good point when you're like, okay, I can't do anything to this without doing a lot to it. My personal fleet tends to be mostly a little more mild. Nothing's exactly stock, but I don't go like quite as far as you do on most of my stuff. So it stays pretty drivable. For me, it's just, am I still having fun with it? Is it still interesting? And is there something, if it isn't interesting, is there something within my budget that I can do that makes it interesting again. Like, for example, we just put a new intake manifold on the Polara because it was time to do maintenance anyway. And it was like, well, we might as well change it a little bit since we're tearing it up anyhow. And that made it kind of fun again because, it feels a little different. It's got a different, a different feel to it.
That scratches the itch for a little while.
Yeah, or like, do the interior or... but it's always possible to go too far. I mean, I have a 70 Challenger that was just a mild 440, and now it's 505 cubic inches. And I kind of fucking hate it.
Yeah,
so,
it's too much for the street, or it's just...
It's just like, it's like, I was going to make a metaphor that I'm not going to make because of the audience, but it's like having more than you can ever use in the situation where you're using it. So instead of getting to floor it all the time like I could before, it's like a throttle all the time.
Right. Totally.
And it just feels, I don't know. I'm not at the point where I'm like, I'm going to sell it. Partially because I don't have enough money to buy it again if I get rid of it. But
you don't drive it very much.
It's like I've been making a cold air intake for it, and it is literally 20 minutes more work and it will be done. And it's been sitting for like 2 weeks.
I totally get that.
Once it's done again, then I'm like, oh shit, now I have no excuse for not driving it.
Yeah. I have a Focus RS that I thought would make a great city runabout. And as it turns out, it's fucking zero fun in the city. It's only fun when you're going a zillion miles an hour and in the canyons, right? But if I go to the canyons, I'm not driving that. I'm driving whatever I'm testing that week. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, it doesn't match the usage, And I'm also really now like interested in build quality. Because you can always add, you can make anything faster. Power is not that difficult. You could put stickier tires and better brake pads, stuff like that. But like, if something's like a rattly crap can, it's going to be that forever. There's nothing you can do to work around that. So
for less than Icon money,
for less than hundreds of thousands of dollars, you call John Ward if you want to do that. You see the Icon's building a 92 Land Cruiser for Joe Rogan that looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a good color.
Dude,
too.
everything that guy does is awesome.
A good color, right?
That's a third tick. Do you hear that?
Yeah, what's going on? Is it our headphones? I hope it doesn't make it into the.
Are you people hearing ticks?
I don't know.
Any ticks out there?
I don't know. Go back. I just saw you. Well, we need to go back
to
the fucking questions, bro.
Oh,
remember? Joven says if you're going on a road trip. Be like, wait, what? Matt bought SUV, adds home. Oh. So I think he just was. I don't. It's not a question, but he was comment. I had like a Explorer back in the day. Actually, it was a Mountaineer, a Mercury Mountaineer, and I put like screens in it and fucking watched TV the whole way across the country. I don't know, but thank you for your donation. I'm not sure what that was at. Okay, Michael says, if you could drive in any specific race or series or a hypothetical future race, what would it be? Ooh. I would like to drive, while you're thinking, a V8 supercar and Bathurst. That would be rad.
That would be rad.
Rubbing fenders, bouncing wheels in the air, that kind of stuff. I don't have the balls for it, but that would be rad.
Oh, okay, so can we pick something that we're totally unqualified to do?
100%. I'm not qualified to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm totally unqualified for this. I'd like to do one of the like Mount Washington hill climb or something like that. Oh, hell
yeah.
But in the also unqualified, but might actually be able to do it anyway, I'd really like to do maybe the Mexican 1000 in a Class 11 buggy. I know you're not interested in them, but I think they're really fun and they're so slow. I'm kind of into things where, like I said, I kind of like,
right?
Yeah.
So Emmy was she was at Bonneville with me, and she was like, "Yeah, I drove all the way down Mexico at 24 miles an hour." she seemed to really enjoy it.
Well, I mean, and the thing is if you've been to Baja and if you've driven at Baja, you know that driving at 24 miles an hour in Baja is still pretty. That's a pretty good clip because we're not, it's not
brutal.
Smooth.
No, it's brutal. Yeah. If you have a fast enough vehicle, you kind of just glide over that stuff.
Right, exactly.
But at 24,
like the trophy
you
trucks,
feel it.
The trophy trucks don't They just never touch ground. So they're like hovercraft.
Just like a hovercraft.
Just
Thank you, Michael. NA6 says, I own a turbo NA Miata, 1,900 pounds and 220 horsepower. Bet that's fun. That I drive to HPDE at Road Atlanta Motorsports Park in Barber. I want something as capable but more comfortable. Should I get a Lotus Elise, a BRZ, or with a Rotrex, or something else? I think his BRZ with Rotrex is a really good one. You got to get your cooling right if you're doing track. There's track days in the South, but as capable, I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, Road Atlanta has a big back. I mean, it's a big back straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a horsepower track.
It's a horsepower track, but I don't want to recommend this dude to get something like huge, like BRZ with Rotrex, like 300 horsepower, 320 horsepower, and BRZ is a ton. I think it'd be fast. Just manage your cooling with aftermarket forced induction, right?
Makes sense to me.
You're just going to roll with it? Okay.
Well, you know, I mean, we're definitely on the edge of things that I know about. I mean, I've driven a BRZ, but that's about as far as it goes.
All right. Well, the BRZs are slow.
Yeah.
And they have that awful torque dip in the middle.
Right.
But if you get a Rotrex
they do
supercharger,
handle well.
Yeah. Great steering, good brakes.
Is there an aftermarket? Like, is there enough aftermarket for them? Because the nice thing about Miata is there's a crap ton of aftermarket.
No, there's
so
a
you
bunch
can go
now,
all
yeah.
the way up, but
Yeah, thing's been out for like 5 years.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff. Like, you can do aftermarket turbos, but like the superchargers are really good because
but
they're
like
linear.
suspension too.
Oh yeah.
Brakes, all that.
Yeah. Everybody makes that shit.
Yeah, then
lightweight
go for it.
wheels. Everyone makes this stuff. There's a bunch of those. Yeah.
Is that enough of a jump from just doing another Miata?
Well, he wants more comfortable.
Oh,
so it
is
would
it-
be.
yeah,
Here's
yeah,
an
I could-
alternative. Corvette. Corvette goes a real long way.
Or Mustang?
Mustang is going to be too big for someone who's talking about Miatas, but
Okay.
I'll throw a Corvette in there all day. A Corvette at Road Atlanta is what's up. They're very nice. Go watch my C7 Grand Sport Road Atlanta lap. You'll like that. Jovin's back. Oh boy, he must be drunk. Opinion on a 91 Ford. That's okay if he wants to pay me to ask questions while he's drunk. That's fine. Opinion on a 91 Ford F-150 long bed single cab 5-liter V8. Cool or not cool?
We were just talking about that era of Ford F-150,
Yeah.
and we were looking at pictures, and we all were like, "That's pretty cool."
It's pretty cool generationally, but I think single cab long bed looks like a farm truck.
Yeah, it's like 8 feet. It's
a lot of
very
bed and not a lot of
strange,
cab.
Well, I think single cabs just aren't anywhere near as useful as you would want them to be, unless
they're so
you're really
uncomfortable.
hauling, because like it's huge, so it's not like it's easy to park, and yet you can't actually carry any friends with you.
And you can't recline the seat. Like,
Yeah.
you're a normal sized human being. Like, I can't get in a single cab and drive that for more than 20 minutes. Like, the steering wheel would be like in my chest. It'd be ridiculous.
Totally
Extended
Yeah.
cab FTW. But he said he bought that 91 F-150 for $1,000.
Well, in that case, goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Joven. The Big Missile. Jesus. Thank you for your donation, and good luck with the sale on the Fox body. Oh, right. Yes, we should mention Monday the 15th for the live audience, and this show will be up in time. Bring a trailer, no reserve auction, 50-50 charity. So the winner who pays for the car, they give me the money, and I will contractually, I'm not going to fucking keep it. I'm saying it publicly. 50% of the money will be donated in the winner's name to the charity of their choice.
Oh, of their choice. That's nice.
Of their choice. They choose the charity.
What if they have just a terrible charity? What if it's like just like
somebody emailed me and said, I'm going to bid this thing up, and if I win, I'm going to donate to the Eric Trump Foundation. And my gut reaction was to restrict all political type. I don't think the Eric Trump Foundation is an actual charity, obviously. But then I spoke with the folks at Bring a Trailer a bit about it, and they said, well, if you have a problem with people's charities, maybe you should just do the charity that you would do. But I think ultimately the kind of person who's going to win the auction, they can have whatever charity they want. You know what I mean? If they want to bid this thing up to the point where they win it just to troll me with their charity, let them. You know what I mean? Let them.
But don't do that. Do something for like kids or dogs.
No,
or something.
you have an opportunity to basically have free money be given to a real charity in your name. My choice was a charity called Team Rubicon. So if they don't want to choose one, the Team Rubicon is a company that hires military veterans to do disaster relief. So like, these guys come back from combat and, the day-to-day boring life is not mentally stimulating enough for them. So they go work with Team Rubicon, and when there's a hurricane or whatever, they send them. And so, they're in the thick of it. And so I think no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, you could probably get behind keeping veterans employed. So that's my choice, but whatever, if you win. And the car itself, I've said not a lot of shit about this car. Everyone knows what the fuck
it's the black fox body with the wrestler pants.
Totally.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Good car.
The important thing about it is, in preparation for this sale, it has brand new tires, full fluids, brand new brakes, a fresh alignment. Like, it's ready to get in and drive. It doesn't need anything. So that's what's happening. So thank you for your comment. Willis says, went to CarMax in Oxnard. They offered me $11,000 for my 2013 Camry with 20,000 miles. Should I sell it and build a first-gen C280 Mercedes with the M120 V12? No. No, I mean, that's a yes-no question when the answer is a hard no. Because think about how not far 11 grand would go into that project car versus how far a 23,000 mile Camry will take you.
Also, and I could be wrong because I have not attempted to sell a Camry, but it seems like you could privately get more money than that.
Yeah, I mean,
like 11 grand is like.
No, it's pretty low.
Yeah.
For a low mile Camry.
My mom will buy it.
Yeah, Tim's mom will give you 12 for it right now. Tim's mom just killed her RAV4 and needs a new
96 RAV4 transmission.
Yeah, I mean, give Willis 12.
Yeah.
Does your mom have any interest in a Fox Body Mustang with wrestler pants?
I think it's going to be more than
a Polera.
Yeah.
First off, CarMax lowballed you. Second off, I don't think a M120 V12 will fit into a C-Class. That's a huge engine, and even if it did, it's not a good idea. Willis says again, worst car to learn stick in. Anything that's 3 on the tree?
Any old exotic?
No, I mean, yeah, I think that the worst car to learn stick in would be something that, that was on the last legs of the clutch, or something that was really lopey.
Yeah. A Camry. Yeah.
Because the worst cars I've ever, when I was learning stick, the ones that were really hard for me were ones where it was really lopey, and you had to like really be in the gas before you let off the clutch, because it was like it would stall otherwise, and that was very frustrating and confusing because it didn't teach you properly the right balance. So,
right, that's a good call. I like that. I think also another worst would be like something with no clutch feel and no tack. you know?
Well, I mean, I did practice a fair amount in our other Cummins turbo diesel, and that has no tack, but it's also kind of impossible to stall. What did you learn on?
So I learned like the very first, like from zero, my dad had a Corvette, and I thought that was very hard. I drove that around a parking lot a little bit. And then my next door neighbor had this, I don't want to call it a beater because it was kind of nice, but it was a very high mileage 87 Acura Legend V6 coupe with a manual. And I spent a lot, and they had it like their nanny would drive around in it or whatever, and they had no problem with me just taking it whenever I wanted.
That's the trick, right?
Yeah, and I took it out, and it just drove in this thing. And so I actually practiced a lot on this old Acura Legend that was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
I had multiple sort of failed attempts to learn. One was also in a Corvette, a Grand Sport.
Like a newer one?
Yeah, like when was the not the new one, but
the C6, like 2011, 12,
exactly.
yeah.
And then I tried a couple of times in the Cummins turbo diesel, which was hard just because it was so big, right? So it's like if you're afraid of what's happening, there's a lot of truck happening.
Yeah.
And what I finally did is I bought a 78, 79 Datsun 620.
Oh,
a 5-speed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was
That's like the 4-door version of the 510, right?
No, it's the truck.
Oh, the truck.
It's the little pickup truck.
Yeah.
So crappy little. I mean, it was $1,000, and it ran.
That's a good thing to learn to stick
it
on.
It smelled like goats. I don't even know. It's not very big.
Of all the animals, goats is a really bad one.
But
that's so gross.
And I just made myself drive it, and and thinking about Hannah, like it was extremely it was not fun at first. It was not fun at all. I mean, I had plenty of times where I pulled over and had to have myself a little cry, but I started by just running the errands in it, and like if there was really bad traffic or I had to go really far, I would take a different car. And I just kind of expanded it and just kept driving it until it really wasn't that big of a deal to drive it. And then I bought the Opel, which I loved, and then I wanted to drive it all the time.
That car's probably super easy to drive.
Oh my God, so easy. And so that was how I learned. But I really think that there's no way to learn other than just
to
doing it.
Yeah,
because you could drive around a parking lot or an empty neighborhood over and over and over again and still not really learn. It's like really learning stick.
You have to add situations to your repertoire.
Like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like I remember the first time I was driving the Datsun and there was a fire engine coming and I was like, oh no.
What do I do? Panic.
Because I was still in the process where you're like, first.
Yeah.
Second, third, and so then I was like, no, wait, I haven't gone to fourth yet. What do I do? But
every time you have to get to fourth. But what if I don't get to fourth?
Yeah, like I don't understand. But
I was thinking that I have this 2001 Mercedes SL, and Hannah works at Facebook. It's in San Francisco, so she took her Volvo to San Francisco, and that's our up there car. Yeah. And so down here, the only automatic car we've got is this Mercedes. So that's her car when she's home for the weekend. I was thinking I'd just sell it and not tell her. I'd come home and be like, the Focus is now yours. Well, and be like, you have to drive this now.
I mean, it depends on the kind of on her kind of personality, because some people
she would get pissed.
Yeah, some people do really well with that kind of pressure, and then other people do terribly. And Laura Conrad. Yeah. Awesome McLaren PR person. So she just bought a car and she wanted a Miata and she was looking around. She called me and she's like, hey, I know I want a Miata. There are a lot more color and interior options if I get a stick, but I don't really know how to drive stick. Like, am I going to be sorry if I buy a stick? And I was like, well,
not as sorry as if you bought an auto.
Well, but the thing is, especially on the new one, it's not that bad. The auto,
really? I haven't tried it.
Yeah, the Fiat is bad with the auto, but the
Fiat is bad with
bad.
everything, as a matter of fact.
But the thing is I was like, you need to get your shit done. So just buy whatever car you're comfortable in right now, and you can borrow one of my cars for a stick. You could trade it in later on a stick. It's just, if you're not comfortable with a stick and you're gonna force yourself to it, and like you're gonna have to get places not anxious because you're a PR person, you have to be on top of it. Just do whatever's comfortable for you.
Yeah, you're very pragmatic about that. I'd be like, no, suck it up.
Like I said, I'm very supportive. I understand anxiety, so
you do. I'm not going to force Hannah to drive stick. I'm going to do whatever makes her happy because I love her. But it does make me sad that she was so good at it. Like once we left the parking lot, like she asked me like one question the whole rest of the time. Like I was like, you're doing this by yourself. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
But she didn't want to continue, and she didn't have to continue. So it's life. Well, there we go. 3-year lease. M1 My Rifle says, should I get a 2018 Giulia TI all-wheel drive or a Jag XE 35T all-wheel drive? Pricing is similar. Here's the problem. Okay, the problem with the Giulia is that it's going to be in the shop more than you want it to. It just is. The problem with the Jag,
it's going to look really pretty in your driveway.
Very good looking car, and also comfortable. Rides well. Like not a terrible car. Just Italian. The Jag is invisible. It's not. It looks. I mean, it's not a bad car, but it's kind of invisible. And the F-Pace is much nicer than the XE for only like that much more money.
But the E-Pace is better looking and has a nicer interior than the F-Pace.
Does it? I haven't been in the E-Pace yet.
It's a slightly smaller
Ooh, in that case, maybe he should add should he add E-Pace to his repertoire?
Yeah, if you're looking at a Jag anyway, check out the E-Pace. There's also that wagon that they make, which is
the XF Sport Brake,
which is really, really pretty and really, really expensive.
Yeah, it's like 75 grand, right? And they'll sell none of them. I don't know. For a lease, I say go for the Giulia. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's not your problem.
Go Italian. It's not your problem. You get a warranty. Maybe they'll give you another Giulia as a loaner when it's in because it's broken. It'll be all right. I would say go for a Giulia because it's Italian, and having an Italian car is pretty fun, especially when it's fucking rented.
Yeah, you'll never have any problem knowing which car's yours in the parking lot,
right?
Which is, I think, a very good reason to buy a car.
I do think the Giulia is a really good looking car.
Absolutely.
Thank you, M1 My Rifle. Jonathan says best newer daily driver convertible under 15 grand.
There aren't any.
There's not.
I mean,
much.
I guess newer.
I mean,
used.
so I got my SL. It's an 01. You know, it's R129. It's the end of the boxy run. I got that for 17. And it's pretty nice, but I've had to put some money into it, a little bit. Couple service items, tires, probably 2021 total, right? And but it's a great cruiser convertible. There's shit. I mean, real obvious options, right? Mustang, Camaro, Miata.
Yeah.
These are your choices, right?
Yeah, and
nothing new under this. What's a fucking 1 Series convertible going for? Like a 128.
I don't know.
Maybe a 128 convertible. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
That's an unloved car that probably has zero secondary market. Or a Mini.
You might be able to get one cheaper than you could get a Mustang.
How about a Mini?
Yeah.
They have atrocious reliability ratings over like 50,000
They really
miles,
do.
Though.
Every friend I have who's had a Mini at a certain point has, yeah.
I sold mine when I had mine. I loved it for 47,000 miles, and then I was like, get out!
Well, then it starts doing weird things like, a rear taillight bulb is burned out, but you have to completely disassemble the entire trunk to get to that, and also you still can't get to it, so sorry.
So go fuck yourself. Yeah. But when you're looking for a convertible at that price and newer, you're gonna have to go with the standards. Toyota Solara. Seriously, fucking Toyota Solara. Your money probably goes a long way in a Toyota Solara.
Chrysler Sebring.
Golf Cabrio. Like, I don't know. None of those are best. Mustang GT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mustang Miata,
yeah. Or maybe Camaro. All right, thanks, Jonathan. Nathan says, thank you for the content. You're welcome, sir. Random question. Friend picked up a 2019 ND, that's a Miata, and the interior seems to be just painted bodywork on the sills, like where you get body color, right? Your door uppers are painted bodywork. Any other cars that do that? Anyone else do the painted door
it used
uppers?
to be super common. I mean, all the
cars from the 50s had it.
Well, and all the 60s cars and 70s trucks and stuff like that.
I think that's a really nice, actually, a fun detail in the Miata. I think they have some of those little things they really get right. Nothing.
I can't think of any. I haven't been in any recently that do that, but I will now keep an eye out for it. And so when I come back in a year with a different job, I will be able to answer that question.
Ford, the Raptors have color matched panels. It's not bodywork.
Yeah,
no,
it's not
bodywork. No. No, and I think part of the reason Mazda does it is so you could drive it in the rain with the top down.
So that your interior edges don't get all wet.
Yeah, I don't know, but I can't. I can't think of anyone else that does actual body work like that on the inside.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it to them.
I'm sorry. Yeah. He made a nice donation too. I'm sorry I can't answer his question, but it is a really nice detail. Actually, it's one of my favorate little details.
It will go on the research list of things I think about and never actually look up.
Totally, right? Add it to that list. Beef Supreme says, relating to Elana trying to draw female followers of the dog foes. Oh, my cat posting. Yeah, okay, cool. Me posting pictures of my cats have gotten a few ladies involved in whatever I do.
I think that actually made me follow you too.
Have you seen my new cat?
Yeah, I unfollowed you, but then yes, they got a
Morgan.
kitten.
He's a 2-year-old. He has 3 legs and his name is Morgan.
Yeah.
And he's the sweetest, like the sweetest, most loving, most snuggly cat you've ever met. but he's 2, and he's fucking hyper. He is so fast. He runs and runs laps around the house.
I can't even remember what a hyper cat is like.
I know.
I mean, we talked recently about putting our elderly cats down.
Oh, no. Are they ill?
But yeah, we had to put her down. She was 19.
Oh, wow. 19's a run, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that is a run.
Yeah, she was definite finish line cat.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But she'd been old for so long that it was hard to even remember.
Our 2, Axel passed away earlier this year, and our other 2 cats are also 13, and so I didn't think of them as seniors until Morgan came home. I was like, oh my God, our cats are seniors. Like, this cat's a maniac.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not getting along yet still, so I have to keep swapping them and separate them. It's very difficult, but I'm leash training Morgan. He put the harness on like nothing.
Yeah, that's great.
No problem with the harness.
I mean, you're crazy, but that's great.
Yeah, and I'm now taking him in my yard for walks on the leash, and we're gradually expanding the circle, and he is cool with it. Shockingly, he is cool with having a harness and a leash on, so I may be able to actually take him for walks soon. Which a 3-legged cat going for a walk on a leash, like, that's a fucking sight.
You'll be a neighborhood hero.
But everyone who comes over loves Morgan. Next time, you're going to come over for the pre-Radwood party.
Yes.
That we do, yeah. Every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because there's a cat.
3 cats. Thank you. Junior Mistmaker, SUV recommendation to tow my E36 M3. 5,000 pounds with trailer, tires, and spares. $30,000 budget. Street parking in the truck in New York City, so no open bed trucks. Ooh. Keep coming back to a Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 7,200 pound tow capacity. Suggestions, Miss Edmunds?
Wow, this is a Dan Edmunds tow test question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Jeep sounds good. 5,000 pounds isn't very much, but then again, you don't want
You don't max it out,
yeah, you
right?
don't want, so like a lot of the crossovers that theoretically could tow, like for example the Honda Pilot that I have,
right,
it has a 5,000 pound max, so that would probably not be what you want. I like
obvious
the Jeep
choices.
idea.
Grand Cherokee's a good one. Tahoe. I mean, your 30 grand goes a long way, and use Tahoe.
Yeah. What about a Suburban?
Or
Is
Suburban.
Same, right?
It's a big truck to street park in New York City. Tahoe's like a little shorter, but man, I want to recommend something like reliable. Can you tow an Explorer? Maybe. I'm thinking. How about a Durango? V8 Durango.
How about a Porsche? I saw somebody towing an Airstream with
a
Porsche.
Cayenne.
Yeah.
You could definitely tow with a V8 Cayenne.
Yeah.
Sleeper, I
don't think that you could do that for, what was it, 30 grand though?
I think the Sleeper is a Durango. Seriously.
Oh, right.
It's good. I got one as a press car when the new generation came out. I was shocked at how nice it was.
Or just like a vintage Ram Charger.
78 dually diesel.
Yeah. Or get a truck and get a cap.
You can do that as well. Yeah, like a Ram. You like the Ram? What's a smaller? Is there a smaller truck that has a bigger towing capacity? Not really, right?
Colorado, I think, does 8,000.
Does it really?
Close.
Oh wow.
The diesel's 70 something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's within budget, but if you want something a little
Diesel's
newer,
not, but
the diesel isn't.
Mm-mm.
All right. I would say your Grand Cherokee is spot on, but look at the Durango and Tahoe. Yeah.
Yeah, and consider a truck with a bed
With a
liner
cap.
or something.
Yeah.
Not that hard.
Surf Nuts says, sometimes I poop a lot.
We all do.
Me too. I feel you, bro. Gravity says, I currently drive a Track E46 M3, looking to buy something unique while waiting for Cayman GT4 prices to soften. $50,000 budget, 90% track, thinking Elise or Factory 5 GTM. Suggestions? 50's a lot of money. 50 goes a long way. 50's like a really nice Elise. 50's like Exige supercharged money at this point.
Have you driven the Factory 5 car?
In the most diplomatic way possible. I believe that something that is designed for racetracks should be very safe. And something about those kit type cars, not to single out any one brand, do not give me, I've driven a bunch of them, they don't give me the kind of confidence I want where if I have a whoopsie and hit a wall that I'm going to be okay. There's just something to be said for factory safety standards, even if it's something a little older. So for me, for 50 grand, I'm thinking 90% track. It's a lot of track. So you got to put a cage in that thing, like Vipers.
Always Vipers.
Viper, 04, 05 Viper GTS hardtop. I don't know if you can get those. I think you can get those under 50.
I think you could.
Viper GTS for sure. Porsches. It's possible. The 50 grand will get you a lot of nice Cayman.
He's already in a BMW.
Already in a BMW, so a German feel would be good. 996 based Porsches, maybe even a turbo with some brake pads and tires and a roll bar would get you quite a lot of car there. Man, I keep my mind going back to Viper.
Yeah. You know what is actually a very good car? The new Camaro, the new generation Camaro.
Oh, yeah. It's a really nice car. 1LE? Hell yeah. They're really nice. If you're under 5'10", especially.
Yeah. But that's a great handling car.
Totally.
And now it's been out enough that there are theoretically used ones.
Yeah, and those cars they get that big frontal area, so they stay cool on track. They take a beating. You can smash one of those. 50 grand used. Are you in Shelby territory yet? GT350 territory? Maybe?
Which
like a 16. Maybe not.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. I haven't checked.
You could be one of 6 people on Earth that tracks the GT500.
Yeah.
Although he's paying, he donated in pounds, so I suspect that may be a problem.
Oh.
Yeah. Paying in pounds is gonna be a thing. I think, man, if you can find a Viper in England, you have something unique.
Yeah, you would definitely stand out.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's the little stuff like the Caterhams and the Adams and the factory like to me. Racetracks, pushing a car, you're more likely to have a whoops.
Well, it's also, I think, nice to be in a car that other cars can see.
Oh, that too.
So if you're in a car that is like kind of basically an open wheel car, but you're racing against body cars or tracting against body cars or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, people get run over.
Yeah. People exit vehicles and then thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I'm gonna close. Did you have to cruise?
At some point.
Okay, cool. We got a few left, but I want to get to all of them. I'm going to do our best. Best spent money to improve your track driving: 1 HPEDE with instructor per year, or 2 open track days per year. Ooh. Instructor, put the ego aside, listen to the instructor. That's going to be my move. And maybe some simulator time as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that no matter what car you're in, there are 2 ways to get faster. One is time on track, and the other is someone giving you instruction about what you're doing right or wrong.
Yeah.
And before you touch anything on the car, I mean, unless it's like actually on fire, you should probably put it out. But other than that, there's almost nothing that needs to be improved more than you do.
Totally.
No offense.
And if this person is implying that he hasn't had much instruction so far, he said he's done a couple of HPDEs, like before you get too deep into it, before you develop any habits that might be bad, that one day with the instructor could set you on the right course where you could then go practice on your own later.
Well, and it's a lot about finding an instructor that really speaks to you and what you need as well, because it's not just like, oh, I had an instructor and they weren't very good. Or I had an instructor and I didn't really get any faster. Like, you got to keep going, because every time I'm with someone in a car that's good, I learn something different.
Yeah.
And people have different ways of explaining things. And there have been things where like 3 or 4 people have told me to do it, and then the 5th person tells me and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. They tell you in the way that works at the exact right time for you to learn it.
Like a animal or food metaphor or something.
If you were a cat. Yeah. Okay, Elana, if you could have 3 cars, money no option.
Ooh.
What are you having?
Okay, Lamborghini Miura.
Good choice. Always good choice. Adam Carolla is selling his if anyone wants to buy it. Hit up Motorator on Twitter.
And let's see, what else do I want? Like a race car of some sort, like a vintage race car, maybe like a
Trans Am car, maybe.
Yeah, like a Trans Am car, or maybe like a wide body Corvette.
Ooh, Grand Sport.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want something funny too, like something
Funny.
Something big and funny. I don't know, like
hashtag van life.
Not quite that funny. Maybe like a Lincoln Continental convertible or something. 60s.
Big body.
Giant.
Slam it on bags.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah. And
Good
then,
choices.
I mean, can I have 4? Because I would also like a new Viper.
There's no rules. You can have 4. Totally. 4. Yeah. That's a good list. I think you've rounded it out well. Thanks, Corey. Tyler says, looking to replace my E36 track toy. I can get a 1-year-old CPO BRZ or a clean 2008 Cayman for the same price. Here's the big question is, if you have a track toy that's German, let's assume you know about side pot. You need to have a side pot. I would rather drive an 08 Cayman than a brand new-ish BRZ on a racetrack. But that car could break and it could be expensive. I still say Cayman.
I think that the Cayman is going to be more satisfying for longer.
Completely agree.
Trying to figure out what his question was.
He's on the guy with the the guy with the police. Yeah, on Long Island for a daily. Yeah, same answer. Long Island's full of Italians. You might as well drive an Italian car.
Yeah, you'll be popular.
Right. Alex says, with a big donation. Thank you, Alex. Damn you. After you and Johnny spent half the show talking about the Fiesta ST, I ended up buying a brand new one. All right. Wow, a brand new 2017. That's how much Recaro Seats sold that car, because he got a brand new 17 that was sitting around for 2 years with non-Recaros. Now I'm torn between driving the boosted Miata or the ST. Well, I hope you enjoy your car, Alex, and I'm glad that we were able to guide you down a direction that so many automotive journalists have gone.
There's really no problem that's better than which of the lovely cars that I love should I drive today.
I know, yeah. If you've got 2 cars you love, you got a great garage. Willis is definitely drunk and just posting shit. Learn stick in my dad's 32
Him
Ford
and
Hot
me
Rod.
both,
right?
man.
That sounds fun. Learn stick in a 32 Hot Rod.
Yeah,
that'll teach you how to drive a modern car. You know what you don't want to learn stick in? The worst car to learn stick in. 1923 Alfa Romeo 8C Monza, because the gas pedal is in the middle and the brake is on the right, and that'll fuck you all up. Yeah, there you go. Oh, here, and Willis also wanted us to know about his 32 Ford with a 6-speed from a 50s Jag. Paul Hogan built it in 65. G'day, mate.
All right, then.
Whatever happened to fucking Paul Hogan? Tim, can you pull up a picture of what 2018 Paul Hogan looks like? Because I really want to know. I feel like Paul Hogan and Greg Norman are the same person. No fucking way. That picture's got to be old.
Yeah, it's got to be. He's 79 years old.
Oh, yeah. Okay, go to images. I bet we. Oh, that's
closer. Yeah.
He looks like.
He's looking pretty good. He actually looks like Dan Gurney in that picture.
Little like Dan Gurney, little like Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah, you're Paul Newman more than Gurney.
If he spent a little more time at the gym. Wait, go to the other picture of him in the fucking Dundee outfit, but now, the second from the left. Yeah, there we go. He really stuck with that. Oh, he's starring as himself in the new Dundee. Of course he is. What the fuck else is he doing? He wouldn't turn that down. Well, he had good taste in hot rods.
The vest still fits. Can you still fit into your alligator?
Into what? My alligator? No, I have a new one made every year. I have to have a suit made for my wedding, and I'm concerned with the possible weight fluctuations. So I'm having it made on the last possible day.
Well, you can have it made and then you can have it adjusted. That's how it works with the dresses.
I know. Well, Hannah had to sign like a clause where apparently I didn't know this. Apparently it's a thing where if you agree to like not get fat before the wedding, because if you do, it's not their fault. Apparently women will get very angry at dressmakers if their dress doesn't fit, when the truth
Understandably, because they're insanely expensive.
No shit. Yeah, I know it was. She wouldn't even tell me how much it cost.
Yeah, it's
She's
stupid.
like, you don't want to know, and I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
Fine. David says, looking forward to the Safari 911 content. I am very excited about it as well. Will there be a Fox Body send-off last words video? Well, we're going to do the podcast live as it is auctioned off.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, you want to come? Andrew Collins is going to come with his fucking one hand from Jalopnik. He mangled the shit of his hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about wedding stories.
Yeah, no, crazy. And he's going to tell us, we talked about him on the last show, and then I called him and I said, you have to come in. We're doing the Fox Body auction show. Please come down and sit in on it. So we're going to talk about that. But if you want to come in, it's going to be fun. I'm going to be a maniac. I'm going to be emotionally like this.
Yeah. Well, I can be supportive.
So there will be I don't know if it's a last words video, but we're gonna be talking about that car as it is auctioned off, and then Bring a Trailer is going to embed the live video in the auction. So it's gonna be like Barrett Jackson with commentary. It'd be fun. I think it'll be fun. People are gonna love it or they're gonna hate it, but I think anyone who watches it, it'll be fun. So that's what we're gonna do, and I don't think I'm gonna go out and make another video with it, like a video. I think that's gonna be it, but I've made a lot of videos about the car. All right, 3 left, and then we're out of here. Daniel says, "Thank you for rocking the V12 lifestyle shirt." Bunch of guys from Utah. I don't remember what they make, but they were very nice to me, and they gave me this shirt. It's a great color, and it has a Countach on it.
Yeah, it brings out the turquoise in your eyes.
Yeah. If you want me to wear your shirt, I almost don't give a fuck what it says on it. If it fits me properly, I'll fucking wear it.
What size do you wear?
I'm an XL now. I was XXL for a long time, and I'm now down to an XL.
That's great. Good for you.
Yeah. Nate says, what is the best fast V8 sports sedan for under $22,000?
Sedan.
Well, here's the thing. You could get like an Audi S4 B7, but I wouldn't wish one of those used on my worst enemy.
Yeah,
You might be able to no, you're not getting an E92 M3. Chargers.
How old's an SS?
Chevy SS, you're not getting one for under 22 grand. No, because they have very strong resale value.
Because they only sold like 17 of them because you guys didn't buy them, which is why they don't make it anymore. And it was a really good car, so thanks a lot.
Everyone was all like, I'll just wait for them to come down used, but then they don't sell them, so they never come down used.
There aren't any.
Under 22, first gen CTSV.
Oh yeah,
There's a sleeper, first gen CT. I think I drove one in a video once that a guy got for like 12 grand. So that's LS2, I believe, 400 horsepower. I think it's LS2. That's a good one. I think they might have diff issues, but Charger. Maybe you can get one of those cop spec fucking Caprices, right?
Yeah. I don't know that I would necessarily call it a sports sedan, but it's fun.
Yeah, it could be fun. Or can you get a G8 maybe? Maybe an older G8 GT you could get under that much. Yeah. Jacob says, is the Terminator Mustang worth $25,000? No. Jacob says, how's it working with Freeburger?
Well, and we didn't even talk about this. In the beginning of the year, I left the Enthusiast Network / Motor Trend / Discovery. Still on really good terms with the Roadkill guys. They were just at my house bringing a wrecked car back to life. As
they do.
Yeah. So I'm freelance now, doing a bunch of other stuff, doing new car video for Edmunds and doing a bunch of old car stuff for HotRod and Haggerty and Fuel Curve and American Car Collector, and basically anyone who will pay me.
You are Hollywood hustling.
Yeah. Do you need a story written? Just send me a note. Tell me what you'll pay. Done. But I am still friends with Freiberger and Finnegan, and it's great to work with them. They're exactly like they look like they are on video. Like really, they're
jokers. They're jokers.
Yeah, they're cool guys. They're funny, and they're probably a little less spazzy than they look on the video.
Do they amp that up a bit?
I don't think they amp it up. It's just they edit it to that altogether. They don't show the parts where everyone's just sitting around like showing YouTube videos to each other for like 4 hours.
But that's so fun. That's the best part of the show. I mean, why don't you do that? People think my life is super glamorous, but like there's no videos of me doing emails for 8 hours.
Yeah. I mean, and even right now, they don't know that you are not wearing pants and you're wearing like bunny slippers.
I know.
There's actually a different camera angle for that.
Tim, give me the third angle.
I'm not sitting next to you anymore. Bullshit.
I bet those guys are fun as hell.
Yeah.
All right, last question, and then we call this game. Wife needs a bigger car because you had a baby. Congratulations.
Yeah, good for you guys.
We got her a cube. Oh wow, okay. She wants a wagon or a hatch. I want a TSX wagon, but they don't exist used. $15,000, 2013 or newer wagon. WRXs? Are there WRX wagons for that new hatches? Forester XT? Yeah. Forester XTs can be surprisingly fun. They're pretty fast. They have turbos. Yeah. They're all-wheel drive. They have a big headroom and shit like that. You must be able to get a Forester XT for $15,000. You must, right? Right?
Yeah.
Just fucking say yes. Just say yes. What else is a wagon or a hatch? 15,000.
Jetta wagon.
Dude, you know what? They're the fixed Jetta TDIs are cheap. Like the ones that they bought back and they put the new software in. I know 2 people who bought those things for cheap, and apparently they're really not much different. I mean, I think they have like 10 less horsepower or something, but you know, they're stigmatized. Nobody wants them. They're quote fixed, whatever. But having driven them, they're nice. They're all right to drive. I almost feel bad promoting that. But
well,
it is what it is.
You know, I mean, aren't we really just pretending that all of the other cars are clean when in fact it's just that nobody's noticed that they're not yet?
I mean, yeah, the diesels were really dirty though. They were really bad. Some of those test results were pretty fucked up. But I would say, yeah, Subarus, you know, shit, you might be able to get a Focus ST for $15,000. I don't know if your wife can drive stick, but Focus ST could be down there. Or Fiesta STs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Corey said Matrix XRS. That's a good one.
yeah. Those are really cheap. That's got the Elise motor in it. The 2ZZ, it revs to like 8,500.
Well, and something that I have just learned about having a baby, not because I had a baby, but because I've been testing a lot of cars that are family cars, so I've been trying to ask.
Do you put a car seat in them?
I do try to put a car seat in them, which is hilarious because I don't know how to put a car seat in.
That's
and
funny.
and not only that though, because putting a car seat in is one thing, but putting the baby into the car seat is a whole different thing, because sometimes, especially if it's a really sporty, hatchy back end, it dips down a lot, and it's quite difficult to actually maneuver.
A7, Audi A7.
Yeah, it's hard to put the baby into the seat because the seat's up high, and then you only have like this tiny little opening for baby insertion. So I've been using the wiener dog wrapped in a blanket, trying to test test my
I think those
baby openings.
the Tesla Falcon doors are dumb, but I know someone who has a Model X and has a kid, and they go, "You don't understand. This is the best vehicle on the planet for loading a kid into." So, you know, I guess they have prioritized. Well, that's a show, folks. Thank you. Oh, Outback GTs and Legacy GTs. Someone just suggested a Legacy GT wagon. Those are rad.
Yeah,
yeah.
Good idea.
I like that. Good call,
you
sir.
You should get that guy on the show.
Yeah, Legacy GT did come in a wagon. They're rare, but they can. But as Forester XTs, yeah, etc. Thanks, Lana.
Thanks for
I'm glad you could
having
come
me.
back.
Oh, me too. Super fun.
If you want to come back on Monday the 22nd for the Fox Body auction show, I would love to have you. We have 2 mics, 2 chairs for you.
You said the 15th earlier. Is it the 22nd
I did?
or the 15th?
The auction starts the 15th and goes for a week. It's Monday the 22nd.
All right.
But if you want to come back, I'll text you. Come back. If not, Radwood, 100%.
Yeah, super, like 200%.
Radwood, LA, for those who are wondering, is December 2nd. It's downtown somewhere.
Yeah. Hopefully it's on a street that's big enough that I can get that truck down.
Real
there.
quick, Tim, can you just pull up where the fuck Radwood, LA is? Because I don't actually know. And I'm sure they have a website that says Sunday, December 2nd, 11 a.m. Where is that? Does it say? Location.
Arts District.
Arts, just says Arts District,
That's
and then it says
downtown,
View
yeah.
Map. Yeah, it's definitely downtown. That'll be fun with a Countach.
But is
Can't
it like
wait to drive.
Chinatown, or is it like further down?
It looks like they just put fucking coordinates, like latitude and longitude. It's so weird. I think it might not be 100% finalized, and that's why they've done that. But
gotcha.
yeah, December 2nd for Radwood, LA. I will be there. Smoking Tire crew will be there.
I will be there.
With 2 cars in your truck.
In my truck.
At least.
Which is like about the same.
Which is the size
Four
of 2 cars.
So
Yeah. Cool.
2 cars. 2 cars.
Porsche, Lambo.
No Mercedes.
Oh, you want to take the Mercedes?
Sure.
Oh, dude, if you want to roll the Benzo, you can absolutely roll the Benzo. 100%. 3 cars. That's all. Challenge her on Instagram to follow Elana. Anything else you want to plug?
No, I mean, if you want to know what I think about the Honda Pilot or the Ford Edge ST, you can see that on the Edmunds YouTube channel. And if you have any old car questions, just DM me on Instagram. I like answering that stuff.
Sweet. Thanks for coming down, dude. It's always good to have you.
My pleasure.
Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. You just need a microphone, a connection to the internet, and something to say. Leave us a review on iTunes to keep us high up in the rankings. And I love you.